Hey everybody, I'm Travis,
Hey, and I'm Brandon.
and we are not both coming to you from the uh, luxurious podcasting studio, also known as the Dirty Garage.
That's right.
Uh, I'm in a hotel room, as you can tell by the two-tone walls and a really old closet that's behind me.
Hey, I
Uh,
think that's a good looking hotel, man. I would put that into my house.
yeah, I can take lots of pictures and send them to you, and you can start redecorating your own home. Uh,
That's a good that's a good
I
idea.
highly suggest mounting the television to a piece of furniture so that way no one will take it. Um, yeah, there's some other features. There's like every lamp has an outlet in it, which is fantastic. I don't have
Dude,
enough things to plug into outlets in this
that's
room.
so handy. That's
It's so handy. As is clear, we are in separate locations. We're trying to use this Google Plus live hangout to do our Walking Dead Fantasy League
that's
Week
right.
3 recap. Uh, I was severely jet lagged Sunday night and fell asleep halfway through what was a very dramatic episode. And I have no excuses for that other than total exhaustion.
You
But
just you were sleeping. You're sleep, you were the Walking Dead probably this morning.
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so Brandon, what did you think about the episode as you watched it wide awake? I'm sure.
I thought it was pretty good. We got away from the human killing kind of for a while there, and so it wasn't as, I guess, interesting. You got a lot of red shirts that are dying from the Alexandria group, and it
Yeah, and
feels
they make no like qualms about saying like, oh, they're just gonna die. Like they can't hack it. They're not gonna survive. They say it in the show a little too much, I think.
yeah, and it kind of bothers me that like they're so incompetent that you don't see how they die. They're just like all of a sudden they're just on the ground being eaten by three zombies.
Like there'll be a guy talking. He's like, I think we're gonna be all right, and then it cuts away, and then it cuts back to him. And he's like being bitten on the neck. Like, how did you not hear like leaves rustling behind you? How are you that incompetent?
Shh.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Dumb, dumb
Yeah.
zombies. Or
So as we do, we don't hold back from spoilers in this. So if you have not watched episode 3 of season 6, then turn this off right now. But we have some important things to discuss. One of those being the potential death of a very main character from the first season, really.
yeah, from the
Uh,
get go.
and that is Glenn, who and as we get into the points later, we don't know is for sure dead, but he's in a really bad situation if he's not. Death seems imminent either way. What did you think overall about that scene and the sequence of events that led to Glenn's very unfortunate situation near the dumpster?
um, I thought it was, you know, it's very The Walking Dead gets me because it's so damn cynical sometimes. Where it's like, you know what, don't help people because they'll get you killed, right? And it's different from like you watch Rick and Morty, and that's a very cynical show too, right? That it's like, Morty is always like, hey, I'm the moral one. I want to help people, and bad things happen. But that's not nearly as cynical still as like, yeah, you help people in this, and sure enough, you'll die or be put in a bad situation near a dumpster.
Yeah, it's one of those interesting things about Glenn as a character is he's sort of always been that guy that is trying to help people out and kind of introduction to Glenn. Rick is like on top of was it like a tank or something
Yeah,
or some sort, and all of a sudden he just gets this like radio, um, this kid on a radio talking to him, telling him how to kind of survive that situation, and that ended up being Glenn. Spoilers for season 1 if you're not caught up. But yeah, and he keeps giving. I'm horrible with the newbies' names, but this guy that's kind of double crossed him a couple times. He just kept giving him second chances and was always kind of looking for the best in him and try to get him to be a survivor. And
Yeah.
in that situation where they are literally surrounded by mobs of zombies, that guy's true colors kind of showed, and they showed all over the side of Glenn's face because he blew himself up there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thank you for that.
yeah. So he falls down. He's got this other guy, his dead body draped over him, and he's being eaten on top of Glenn. And then it pulls back, and we see this bird's eye view where you can tell Glenn's kind of down there, but there's no definitive evidence that he's being eaten or what is happening to him. A couple things to point out. If you watch The Talking Dead, the Chris Hardwick show afterwards, which I know you don't, Brandon. I know
No,
you
I don't. No, I don't.
but they
Not
always list all of the characters that they lost in an episode, and they did not list Glenn. So they wrote like, "I hope it's not true. I hope it's not true," like over and over again.
Yeah,
and they also did not have the actor on the show, which is usually a pretty solid indicator that that guy is now
which
dead.
they usually do, right?
So there's possibly hope for him.
I mean, at the very least, we have him as a zombie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's nobody there to like headshot him or anything. I feel like he'd be a very torn up zombie. Like with that many biters around, I don't think that he would last very long, unless he is able to get under that dumpster and somehow, I don't know, just hide out or something. Which that'd be terrible.
I went back and watched it to see how wide the gap was on the on the dumpster. Like, nah, I don't know. And then there's not really a definitive like how big that gap is.
Mm.
And then some people were saying like, well, you could have covered himself with Nick's guts, and then uh,
Start
in hot,
grunting and stumbling around like they did in like that was another season 1 trick they did. I think
yeah,
cover
yeah.
themselves.
But but the thing about that trick is they use zombie guts in that original, like
That's
not
true.
fresh human, tasty human blood.
Tasty blood. Yeah. So Glenn, we will see the fate of Glenn. He is based on this episode. We have the Walking Dead Fantasy League does not officially count him as dead because we do not have evidence of his death yet.
When we get official word, then we'll add the points.
Then we'll go with that. What else happened? Anything else? Any thoughts about the episode or things going on?
The wolves showed up to attack Rick randomly. It's weird how small Virginia is.
I'm still going with the theory that they're not actually leading that mob of zombies away from Alexandria. They're just walking them in a circle around the city.
Yeah.
Like somebody got their maps mixed up. Someone's terrible with navigation, and they're just herding these zombies in a giant circle around the city.
Yeah, they're like make a left
up.
here. Make a left here. Okay, make another left.
Just make 3 lefts and then another left. And you'll be there. It was interesting to me that like Rick could get back to the RV and drive all over the place, but still not make it back to Alexandria at any point, like to check it out. Yeah. And then he finds like a jar of, I don't know, food that shows us that this group came from the town, most likely. It's the timeline for all of that and the geography is just really kind of convoluted for me. I'm having issues with how that works.
Yeah, I agree. It's not very. You don't know where you are geography wise. Like Daryl like rides off on his motorcycle. He's like, yeah, I'm out here. And then he's driving for a long time, and then all of a sudden he's like, no, you know what? Never mind. And then he's back with Abraham and Sasha already.
Yeah, and he's just right back in the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like townies left. There's only a few, maybe like a few that are actually there. Like that survived the wolf attack. But I mean, they're just killing off those characters left and right.
Yeah, red shirts,
Um,
man.
yeah,
That's what
there
they're
you go.
for. All
All right.
right.
Any last thoughts before we get into some scores here?
No, no, man. Let's get into the scoring here.
Uh, one last thing I'll say: Rick is in a bad situation. He's stuck in an RV that won't start with a ton of zombies surrounding him. When he shot blindly through the side of the RV, I half expected that to be like people he knew on the other side.
Yeah.
But it did not turn out to be that way. Yeah, and I don't know where they're gonna go from here. Actually I do, because I saw scenes from next week and it looks like a Morgan centric episode. So
Yeah.
it probably
Good
won't get
job.
normal storyline stuff for a while. But
Good
anyway.
job. You're a win.
Yeah. All right. So how do you want to do this? You want to go team by team or?
Yeah. Let's just do team by team.
Okay.
Get your guys knocked out.
All right. So we will start with a couple of the people that were not even in this episode. Morgan and Maggie, they're still back in Alexandria, so they had goose eggs for their scores. Let's go with Daryl. Daryl.
Nothing. They're still driving from last week.
Oh, okay. So no points because it's still the same driving trip from last time. Is that how we're working it?
Yeah, I didn't count them because they've been driving since day one.
Yeah,
See,
fair
episode
enough.
1. So like,
I won't argue with it because you also have a driving character that received no points. So, all right. So thanks, Daryl, for that. Rick. Rick had a few zombie kills. He had 3 zombie kills.
Yep.
He also had some non-zombie kills because of the attack in the RV. 5 non-zombie kills.
Yeah.
That's some of them just blindly through a wall, but all right.
Yeah.
He did headshot someone to keep them from turning. Who was that?
That was just some dude that like right after the zombie kill.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's yeah, okay. And a non-life
just lying in the street. He was just lying in the street.
Yeah, okay. Non-life threatening injury, is that what his
that's his hand. Cut
that's right.
hand.
He had his hand wrapped up there at the end. And then driving for the RV.
Yep.
And looting. You have two.
I have two lootings. 2 different bodies that he took off of. He took
because he's off of somebody that had died, and then also okay, all right. So that's Rick's scores, and then finally Glenn, who had a couple of breaking and enterings, and then 6 zombie kills, which these are hard to count when you start getting a mob that big. But we ended on 6. Again, we are not counting points for dying or turning into a zombie or anything like that, because we don't have any evidence of that at this point.
That's right. And you're right about counting the zombie kills, especially when you have multiple characters that you're trying to count. Because you'll see with Michonne, her and Glenn were like right next to each other. So I'm like, okay.
So that's the total score for Team Travis. 152.5.
Yep.
Team Travis.
And then so then we go over to Michonne, and she had 11 zombie kills, 1 non-zombie kill, and that was to keep the person from turning.
Okay.
Yeah, that was right at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And then 7 decapitations.
She's the queen of that.
Yeah.
That category was like made for her.
Yeah. And then finally 2 breaking and enterings.
Yeah, that's right. Was it like a pet store that they were hanging out in?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of creepy. Yeah, and then was that your only scoring player?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Abraham and Sasha do nothing right now.
And Rosita and Carol are back in town.
That's right.
Wow. Very high scoring game for Michonne.
Yeah. So Michonne got me a whopping 135.
Is that more than what Carol had last week?
Yes, it is.
You've got those single scoring ladies that really.
If I could get them together,
if you could, you need to get in that huddle and be like, we need to work as a team. We can't just have one superstar every week. We need somebody else pulling their weight.
There is no I in team, but there is an I in pie, like meat pie, which is an anagram of meat. I don't know.
Anyway, yeah. So final score 135 to 152.5. That's second win for Team Travis.
That's right.
And yeah,
and I'm fully expecting next week to be another win for you.
Yeah, it's if it is all Morgan, and like have you seen the trailers for next week's episode?
I haven't. No.
It's it talks about like maybe some dark things that happened in his past, which if that's the case, maybe it shows why he went to a position of not killing people. Maybe he gets worn out by it or something like that.
Yeah.
That said, it is an extra long episode. I think it's a little like 90 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
And they may do. I'm expecting flashback stuff, but they may flash to current stuff too. So I'm not
flash sideways.
Flash sideways. Damon Lindelof, executive producer for Lost, was on that Talking Dead, and he was literally the only reason why I wanted to watch it at all, because I'm a Lost fan. Anything else you want to cover? Do you have any waivers or anybody that you're looking to move this week?
No, nothing. I just gotta wait. Just gotta wait for next week to be over.
And it's a long season, one game at a time.
Glenn's going to die eventually. He's going to die this season.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
And you're going to have to pick up somebody new. So I have to win one or two here and there.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, I guess that's it from us. What did you guys think about the episode? Obviously, there's a lot of social media chatter been happening, but we'd like to hear your thoughts. What do you think about the fate of Glenn? And what do you think of the season so far? Do you think they're just carting zombies around the city, or do you think that they'll actually do something productive with those? Leave those responses down in the comments, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Geekade YouTube channel for more Walking Dead Fantasy League, as well as tons of other cool content. Oh, I didn't even notice you had the Walking Dead shirt on. I'm wearing a hoodie because I'm cold for the first time in like a year.
It's like the same thing. It's like the same thing.
Yeah. All right. So you can check us out on social media every week on Apathetic Enthusiasm, our weekly podcast. And until next, and Brandon's picking his nose or something.
Until
next, Brandon, so we can go.
Hey, I'm Brandon.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
See you later.